Welcome to the Bodhi Academy. Today we are going to solve PYQ questions from chapter Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants from subject Biology. So the first question for today is describe in brief the structure of microsporangium. So let us start. So microsporangium is basically a part of the male reproductive system of flowers. So microsporangium is present in the anther of the flower. So it consists of four lobes. So the outermost layer is called as the epidermis. Then the second layer is called as the endothecium. So endothecium is a layer which helps in the dehiscence of the anther when the pollen grains are mature. Then comes the sporangium or the sac-like structure which holds the development of the megaspore, that is the pollen grain. Inside the sporangium is a nutritive tissue called as the tapetum. So this tapetum layer help in giving nourishment to the growing microspore which will develop into the pollen grain. So the first layer inside is called as the sporogenous tissue. This sporogenous tissue, when the anther matures, this sporogenous tissue will undergo various developmental changes to form the pollen grain. So this is about the first question, that is brief structure of microsporangium. Let's move to the second question. So the second question is draw a neat diagram of structure of an anatrophous ovule. So ovule is the reproductive part of the ovary which will help in the process of fertilization. So let us see how the structure of ovule is. So the stalk-like structure is called the funicle which helps in attachment of the ovule to the placenta of the ovary. Then this basal part is called as the chalaza and the mouth of the ovule is called as the micropyle. The protective layer around the ovule is called as the integument. Then there is a tissue in the center called as the nucellus. And then in the center of the ovule there is a embryo sac which helps in the process of fertilization. Embryo sac act as a female gametophyte. So this is a typical structure of anatrophous ovule. That is the stalk called as the funicle, then the micropylar end, the chalazal end, the nucellus tissue, embryo sac and the integuments. So this is the structure of anatrophous ovule. So let's move to the next question. The next question is describe an embryo sac of flowering plant. So let's describe the embryo sac of a flowering plant. So embryo sac is basically the place where the fertilization happens in the flower. So the structure of the embryo sac is It is a 8-celled cell which consists of 3 antipodal cells, two central nuclei or the polar nuclei, two synergates with the filiform tissues, and then there is a egg apparatus. So this is a structure of a typical embryo sac in angiosperm, that is in the it is present inside the ovule, wherein the process of fertilization happens. So the different regions are antipodal cell. So there is 3 antipodal cell. This is at the chalazo end, and this is at the micropylar end of the ovule. So ovule has two parts, that is the chalazal end and the micropylar end. At the micropylar end, you will find filiform tissues. Then there are 2 synergids with the egg apparatus. Then in the center there is a polar nuclei, that is there are 2 polar nuclei called as the central cell of the cell, and there are 3 antipodal cells. So this is a basic structure of embryo sac. So let's move to the next question. The next question is, write a note on pollen pistil interaction. So let us understand first what is pollen and what is pistil. So pollen grain is basically the male gamete, and pistil is the female reproductive part of the flower. So the pollen pistil interaction first happens, the first step in pollen pistil interaction is pollination. So the first step over here is pollination, wherein what is pollination? Pollination is basically a process wherein the pollen grains from the male part of the flower comes and settles on the stigma of the flower, so that the process of fertilization starts. So over here, first let us draw the pistil. Okay, so this is the pistil of a flower, wherein this is the stigma, style in the ovary. Inside the ovary, there are ovules which are present, which will be fertilized by the pollen grain. After pollination, what happens is pollen germination. So pollen grain is a male reproductive part. So it is a male gamete which settles on the stigma of the flower. So this is a pollen grain which consists of a small opening called as the germ pore. So this germ pore, the stigma of the flower consists of water plus sugar. So the stigma secretes water and sugar, which is required for the process of germination of that germ pore. So this germ pore, so the pollen grain, it consists of 2 male gametes. So the this germ pore which is there, after receiving water and sugar from the stigma, it will start germinating and it will form a tube. So this is called as pollen tube. So the pollen, after germination, the pollen tube will be formed, which will penetrate down the style of the flower with the nuclei. So this will start penetrating the style, and then it will reach the ovule with the 2 male gametes. So after it reaches the ovule, what happens is, if this is the ovule with the embryo sac, okay, So when the pollen tube enters the micropylar end of the ovule, what happens is the two male gametes which is there inside the pollen grain will come inside the embryo sac wherein the fertilization starts. So one male gamete. So now the process of fertilization starts after pollen pistil interaction. That is, one male gamete will fuse with the egg, and this will result in formation of zygote. And the second male gamete which is there will fuse with two polar nuclei, and this will give rise to endosperm. So this is how twice the fertilization happens inside the embryo sac, and hence it is called as double fertilization, wherein the one pollen gamete which is there, the one male gamete will fuse with the egg cell to form zygote, and the second male gamete which is there will fuse with the polar nuclei to form the endosperm, and hence twice fertilization will happen inside the embryo sac of the ovule, and hence this is called as double fertilization. So this fertilization process happens from the pollen pistil interaction. First step is pollination. After pollination, pollen germination takes place. Then the pollen tube penetrate inside the ovule, and then the fertilization happens. So this is about the note on pollen pistil interaction. So let's move to the next question. So the next question is, write a note on the formation of megaspore development into an embryo sac. So now we have to write a note on development of megaspore into a embryo sac. So this process is called megasporogenesis. So the megaspore which is there, so let us draw the diagram. So this is the ovule, chalazal end and the micropylar end. So inside the ovule there is nucellus cell which is present. This nucellus cell will divide and it will form a megaspore. This megaspore will further divide to form a dyad. This will further divide to form a tetrad. So from this tetrad now, these three cells will be degenerated, and this one cell will enlarge and will start developing into an embryo sac. So this cell will enlarge, and after that what will happen is now karyokinesis. Karyokinesis is basically the process of basically the process of nuclear division that will start. First the cell division will take place, then after formation of the megaspore, then the karyokinesis will take place. That is, inside the cell, now there is one nucleus. This one nucleus will further divide to form four nuclei. This four nuclei will further divide to form six nuclei, and then further it will divide to form eight cell structure. So here the karyokinesis will stop, that is nuclear division will stop, and then again cellular division will start, that is cell wall formation for this divided nuclei. Okay, so this is our eight-celled cell which has eight nuclei which we have got after the division. Now what will happen is cellular division, that is cell wall formation. Now this 8 cell will start moving, that is 3 cell will start moving at the chalazal end, Three cells will move at the micropylar end and two cells will move at the center of the cell. And then the cell wall formation will take place. And you will get your mature embryo sac with three antipodal cells, two polar nuclei, synergids in the egg cell. So this is the structure and this is how the formation of embryo sac takes place from the megaspore inside the ovule. Let's move to the next question. So the next question is, in coconut seed, name and describe the two types of endosperm tissues formed. So endosperm is basically a nutritive tissue which is formed inside the ovule. Okay, so endosperm is of two types. That is the nuclear endosperm and cellular endosperm. So inside coconut, we know that coconut consists of the white color kernel and the water. So the coconut water consists of the water of coconut consists of nuclear endosperm. That is, only the nucleus will be present inside the endosperm. So that is called as a nuclear endosperm, which is present inside the water of the coconut. And then cellular endosperm. So same nucleus which are present inside that coconut water, it will develop cell walls. And that endosperm becomes the cellular endosperm, which is present in the white kernel of the coconut. So the coconut water will consist of nuclear endosperm and the coconut kernel which is there will consist of cellular endosperm. So these are the two types of endosperm present inside the coconut. So the next question is, draw a neat diagram for LS of flower. So we will draw a longitudinal structure of section of flower. So flower consists of the male and the female part. Okay, now let us discuss the different parts of the flower. So flower consists of sepals and these are the petals. Then this part makes up the female reproductive part of the flower. That is, it consists of stigma, style, ovary, which consists of the female gamete called as the ovule. Then the male reproductive part, it is called as stamen, which consists of anther and the filament. Inside the anther, the male gamete will be produced, that is the pollen grain. So this is the basic structure of a flower, that is, these are the male reproductive part and this is the female reproductive part. So the female reproductive part is the pistil, which consists of stigma, style, ovary, and ovule is the female gamete. The male reproductive part consists of anther and filament, it is called as stamen, and it produces male gamete called as the pollen grain. So the last question is, what are germ pores in pollen and how do they help in germination? So first let us draw the structure of a pollen grain. So a pollen grain is basically, it is the male reproductive, it is the male gamete. So the pollen grain is basically the male gamete. It consists of the outermost layer called exine, then the inner layer intine, then two nuclei and the germ pore. So a germ pore is basically a bulge in the a pollen grain which is devoid of the exine layer and the sporopollenin layer. As sporopollenin is a very resistant layer which will not allow in the process of fertilization, that is formation of the germ tube. So this germ pore will not have that sporopollenin layer. So it is a very thin layer in the pollen grain which do not consist of the exine and the sporopollenin. So how, the second part of the question is, how do they help in germination? So how germ pore helps in germination? So as it does not consist of any covering to it, what happens is when this germ pore comes in contact with the stigma, the stigma will secrete water plus sugar. So this germ pore will germinate and form your pollen tube, which is very important in the process of fertilization as that will carry the male gametes to the ovule. So this was about the question, that is how germ pore helps in the process of germination.